Welcome to Hardheaded Podcast.
Yes.
I'm your host, Chet Sears. As always, with me is Troy, Three-Shot Trussell, and Matt, I forgot to hit the record button. Amos.
I thought we were live. Why are we recording?
Both. We got to do both.
We got to do both.
It's Matt's first time. It's all of our first times for live broadcasting,
He was
right?
a little late for our pre-production meeting.
That is true. I did miss that.
He was 24 hours late for that one. That's okay, though.
I was working.
Turn that down.
Because somebody wasn't here or at the office. We're not there today.
Somebody was on vacation.
We're not there today, so it's going to be different for me trying to reference the office.
Okay. All right. Well, here we are live on Facebook. If you're listening to us on Facebook, we are glad you are. If you're not with us on Facebook right now,
I am.
you're probably listening to us on a recorded episode. You may be driving because this is like the most travel day outside of the Thanksgiving travel.
Yeah.
Is the day before Christmas Eve.
It's Christmas Eve.
That's right. And then, or you may be like doing that last minute shopping or grocery shopping, of which we had some stuff to get today. So I volunteered as tribute to go to the store.
What's the sign?
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I this morning Ashley's making out this list, and I'm like, what are we doing today? She's like, well, I have to go to the store to get all this stuff, and I'm like, if you could finish that list right now, I'll leave. And so she did. So I went to the store. I think it was just after 8:00 this morning, which hopefully was beating the rush. And it wasn't bad until I've got a problem. I'm okay with self-checkouts. Like the self-checkout line, a lot of people complain about, I have to check myself out now. I'm cool with that. But I ran into a situation today that I normally don't run into. Number one, I'm shopping like groceries, and it's a busy day. So normally, like the little bitty self-checkout stands, you may not even know this because you probably haven't been in a store since 2019. Matt?
Pretty close. I mean, one that has self-checkout. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, the small little stands, you don't do that when you have a grocery cart full. They have the conveyor belt self-checkouts now. So what I wasn't prepared for was the amount of personal judgment I had to make on the people that were in the lines. Because if it's a normal, what I was raised with grocery store, all you do is walk down the lines and you see how much stuff is in the baskets, because a professional checker basically takes the same amount of time. It's a matter of volume. There's not like a slow checker outer person versus a speedy checker outer person. They all move at relatively the same pace. But the problem I have now with
Don't move my microphone.
with the people
Jerk.
in the line are, you have to look at them and say, can they operate the self-checkout at an acceptable pace, or are they really slow? It doesn't matter how much stuff they have now. It's like, am I going to get befuddled by the machine? And I made 2 passes, and I was looking at everybody very critically because I didn't want to stay there forever.
Greg wants to know if they still had sugar wafers. People have sugar wafers.
I didn't get any sugar wafers today. It wasn't on the list.
Oh.
I'm also known for violating the list whenever I go shopping, Greg. And so normally I would grab stuff that I would like that's not on the list, but it has been mentioned enough to where I'm like, I'm sticking to the list. So my last 3 or 4 trips have stuck to the list. But anyway, I walked up and down the line. There's like 2 people deep in each line at the self-checkouts. And I took a risk and I said, I think this one's going to go the fastest, because there was a lady that was older, but not like old. I don't know how to use a computer old.
Like just a few years older than you.
She's going to be okay. She's probably a grandma, but she has an iPhone and, whatever.
Right.
That's what I was thinking. I was wrong. And there were so many people passing me in the aisles next to me while she would take an item and scan it. She wouldn't put it on the conveyor belt. So she would just pick from her basket, scan an item, and then she'd bag it. And then she'd turn around and dig through her grocery cart to find out the next available thing to check out that would fit in the bag with that, and then be very discerning about that. And then she'd scan that, put it in the bag. And whenever she actually filled
All I
up a
want
bag,
for Christmas is not COVID from Chet.
and then when she finally filled a bag, she'd turn around and put the bag in the basket before she's even done. And so the machine's like, you didn't place that in the checkout area. There's a missing item, and all this stuff kept going on, and it was bad. So my Christmas spirit of getting there ahead of time and all that, it took me longer to check out than it did to grocery shop to fill up a basket.
If I'd have done what you did, it never fails. It doesn't matter any calculations I make or any judgments that I make. Every line I choose to get in is the slow one. Every time.
But you can't judge it anymore based on...
Is that a self-fulfilling prophecy there?
Maybe.
Every line you get is the slow one?
Possibly.
Yeah, so a couple questions for the live...
But okay, well, you go ahead.
No,
Ask your question.
no, I'm not.
Or ask their question.
Wait, Greg's wondering where Tasso is. He's upstairs right now.
Yeah, I answered it.
Oh.
So
You're typing back?
So for our listeners,
You gotta click.
this is our first time doing a live broadcast, and so yes, please, if you have questions or comments, I'll be, answering
we may
them
talk
or
about
asking them, and we can talk about them as we go along. So
Yeah.
for sure.
That
If there's an issue that we've disagreed with,
which
through
we
previous-
never disagree.
our audience with us, because sometimes they don't comment back and they just hold it in going into the new year. Let's bring it up and let's quash them now, and let's start out, on a good foot.
So you're talking about maybe some of our audience members that agree with me, and then some of our audience members that are wrong.
That agree with Troy. I mean, because I'm whatever. Get your drink out of my way.
Anyway, we're glad you're here. It's the Christmas season. Matt was still doing Christmas shopping on his phone before we started recording. You're apparently not done with all your Christmas presents.
I was.
But you're not now.
No, because when I went to get my annual traditional Christmas ham, I go shoot a deer, and then my processor always has hams done. Well, my processor wasn't taking deer this year.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think they kind of scaled back on a lot of that stuff. But they called me and they said, hey, I know that we're not taking deer, but we'll take yours. And I said, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And then I shot my deer on a Saturday morning. They were closed, but I called and they answered the phone because they saw it was my name, and they opened up specifically for me to take the animal and made a note about the ham that I normally get. And right. I think the ham just got lost in communication. So I ended up, all week I've been looking for either like a beef tenderloin to do a roast, or just something
right.
to make. And everybody was out. Like all the meat stores were sold out of pretty much everything, waiting on trucks or whatever. And so I went to the one, strangely enough, that's closest to my house, and they had prime rib in the back. And so I was like, all right. They went and
going with the rib roast,
hacked it off the animal. So I'm going with the prime rib roast. And
how you cooking it? You gonna smoke it?
Nope. I'm going to do the oven on this one.
Yeah.
And so that's why I'm shopping right now, is because I don't have the type of roasting pan needed to do this one, to collect the dripping so I can make the jus.
But you're cooking this in 2 days.
Yeah.
Who's delivering a roasting pan on Christmas Eve?
No, there's some in town. I'm online shopping, in-store pickup, which is what I would recommend for you, instead of going in and going through the shopping experience. Is now those places that have those self-checkout lines. I order online. I order exactly what's on my list. I say pickup time. Oh, 4:30. Okay. Beep.
Right.
Get there at 4:30. Hey, check in. Where are you at? I'm at spot number 4 in a black truck.
I'm very specific.
They bring it right out.
Because I'm in the stores doing my shopping still. I'm very specific on what brands I get, what size of.
You can do all of that through the app.
No. They substitute.
Nope. You say no substitutes.
They substitute. And then they just don't get you anything then.
Exactly. But they tell you beforehand so you know.
But then what do you have to do?
Go somewhere else.
Into a store and go buy it.
But you don't have to be in there as long. That's
simple.
my thing.
I'm okay with, I don't mind people. I could be around people.
There's too many people shopping.
Well,
In this,
I don't mind
at this week.
Yeah,
There's
I don't
too
mind
many people
regular.
shopping.
But it's the people running around with those little blue buckets that are driving me crazy because Matt's online and that means there's 5 people running around trying to fill his
Oh
order.
yeah, you got to watch out for
They'll push you out of the way.
especially in Target.
And I know
they'll do
that
it too.
that's why I know they substitute is because they're like, oh, this like let's just say it's like a spaghetti sauce. And you may want a specific brand, and they're like, oh, spaghetti sauce, and it's red, and they grab it, and then they go. They don't like get the specific stuff because they're speed. They got to go for speed, not accuracy.
They've always given me the items that I specifically request.
Yeah,
I've never had an issue with that, and I always say no substitutes.
we have a question: if we road rage shopping in store,
Do you get road rage shopping? I bet
no,
you.
no,
I bet you do.
Yes.
Internal
Yes,
road.
I do.
that's why you haven't been in a store in a year.
This happened yesterday.
Yeah,
Yes.
You went into a store yesterday?
I haven't been at work this week, so he can't send me in.
Yeah, exactly. My gopher hasn't been at work, so I've had to go everywhere. But I was actually at the meat market, and I'm standing at the cooler looking for beef bones for my dogs.
Yeah.
because I always get my dogs a Christmas present, and I'm trying to. I step back because it's a low shelf or low freezer item, and so I step back instead of having to try to bend over and touch the glass, whatever. And lady comes up right in front of, can tell I'm visibly looking
Right.
for beef bones, stands right in front of me,
Yeah,
like in front of looking at all the items on the top. And I'm like, I pulled the Chet Sears, except maybe not as nice. I was like, oh, I'm sorry. Was I in your way? And I don't think she spoke the same language as me because she didn't understand. And so, then I was like, all right, I'm going to give up on that for a minute. I'm going to go
Yeah.
over here because I saw some pork tenderloins, and I was like, that's like a third, fourth backup.
right.
And so I'm looking at those. Again, she comes right in front of me and stands right in front of me looking at the tenderloins that I'm looking at. I'm like, oh, we meet again.
Yeah.
Like crazy. Yeah.
Well, that whole backup thing reminds me of me at a gas pump because the screens that they have that tell you what to do on the keypad, they always write on the top part of the screen, but I'm so tall that it's blocked. I can't see it. So a lot of times I'm standing at a gas pump, like, why isn't this thing coming on? Like, what in the world? And then I have to step back and look, and then it's like, oh, you're supposed to, push, select this or do something. And I don't know because I'm staring at a blank screen way down there. But as far as the road rage goes, not in store, but parking lots. People driving in parking lots during the holidays it's bad. Like I saw some of that yesterday. Went to the Nifty Nut House, and I assume that they changed their hours for holidays. They do not.
That place is a nut house.
It is
This time of year anyway.
It is. So I pull up. They open at 10. Apparently, I thought they'd open up earlier. I get there at 9:40, and the parking lot is already full. Just and I assume because it's full, there's already people in there. And so I had to park down by the old store, and I just start walking up, and I'm not even paying attention. I get halfway there, and I realize they've got the garage roll top door things shut down, not open yet. And there's just one dude standing by the door, and I'm like, well, I'm just gonna go wait with that guy. And then I walked up there and stood next to him, kind of leaned back against the wall, and I turned around and looked, and everybody's still in their car in the parking lot. Well, me being the second person there actually formed a line, and
Here they come.
Everybody was like, "Oh no, they're lining up now," So then, next thing you know, in the next 10 minutes, that thing wrapped around the whole parking lot, and people started parking in the streets, and it was crazy. I mean, absolutely crazy. And then the lady that stood next to me was, she was sweet, but she's like, I don't even know why I'm here. My coworker, I'm in from out of town doing some traveling and nursing, and my coworkers asked me if I could come here this morning because I was off and do some shopping.
Oh.
Why are people lined up? And
They
I'm like,
they all knew, and so they sent her.
yeah. And she's like, why are people lined up? Because this is a pretty neat store. But
She was
they
sent as
just-
tribute.
They see,
Exactly.
and she's like, well, why? I don't understand. And then they just kept lining up, and she's like, this is crazy. I said, it's not anywhere near. Like, you wait till around lunchtime. and there's a big problem there. But for those not from Wichita, the Nifty Nut House is a huge candy store, like a massive candy store, and they sell nuts.
Tons of any kind of nuts.
Raw almonds, salted almonds, roasted almonds, chocolate covered almonds, dark chocolate, and they have that with every nut there is, plus all the Jelly Bellies, the 500 different flavors of Jelly Bellies and whatever else. It's pretty neat store. But I went in, I wanted to get the prepackaged stuff, so I was out before the line had made it all the way into the Nifty Nut House.
Nice.
Yeah, so that worked out. But I noticed in the parking lot, like there was some aggressiveness, and then like people walking where you should drive instead of over next to the cars. They're walking, and so everybody gets backed up driving behind somebody that's walking in the driving area, and lots of road rage there.
See, I think the 6 foot distance or the whatever the
physical distancing,
the COVID distance,
the distancing is what we call it now. I think that solved some of the road rage with carts inside of stores because everybody's basically staying away from each other.
Yeah,
but because in Christmases past, I'll be pushing a cart, and people just cut you off, like it's a raceway, and then it reminded me of an episode of Married with Children where Al Bundy and his next door neighbors get the grocery carts and they're doing like shop for $1,000, and then they have all these weapons that they've attached to their carts, like bowling balls and swords and stuff. Yeah. It's funny. Yeah. But that's what it reminds me of, going into battle with a custom cart with boosters and NOS and shanking people. Yeah.
little rage there.
Yeah.
All right. Cameron brought up that today's a special holiday, December 23rd. Do either of you know what today is?
Well, Festivus.
It's the Festivus for the rest of us. I had some one-on-one time with my oldest daughter this morning because my youngest one was spending the night with her gran, and we dialed up the episode, the Festivus. It's actually the strike, because the storyline on this Seinfeld episode is Kramer had been on strike for the last 12 years because they weren't paying enough at the bagel place that he wore H&H bagels, and everybody was shocked to find out. He got the phone call and he's like, "Oh, okay, well, I'll be in work now." And I'm like, "Work? What?" He's like, "Well, I didn't want to say anything, but I've been on strike for the last 12 years. And I'm like, "What did you go on strike for?" He said, "Because the wages were too low and we weren't going to go back to work until it was, like $5.30 an hour." And they were like, "Well, that's the new minimum wage." He's like, "And who do you have to thank for that?" So anyway, Kramer's working at the bagel store off a strike. It's the Two-Face, Jerry's girlfriend's not that pretty, and then Festivus is weaved in with that classic Seinfeld.
That's good stuff.
So I suggest that you all watch it.
Yeah,
put your aluminum pole up. I know two of our listeners actually have. I know Chris Broughton, one of our former guests and co-hosts, he has an aluminum pole, and I know Hank Jones has one too. Picked out a fine one that he posted on social media about.
Nice. You got your aluminum pole, Matt?
No.
Have you even seen that episode?
No.
I know I've seen it. It's just been a while.
Matt's coming around.
I've seen Seinfeld. I've watched episodes here and there for however long it's been out, and I actually own like the first 6 seasons maybe on DVD.
Yeah.
And I just never. I think I cracked them open and watched
you're
like the
a
first
Netflix
3.
subscriber. They're all on Netflix right now.
Yeah, I know. I've been watching a few here and there, but that's where I saw the one where he gets hired by the Yankees.
Yeah.
And that's probably one of my favorites. That and how to look busy at work.
How to look busy to be act frustrated all the time. And so he was doing that last week. Somebody would walk in, he'd be like, he'd have some papers.
Just doing. You get left alone.
we were signing Christmas cards. So he would get something done and he'd walk in and be like, "Sign them." It's funny.
Costanza.
Yep.
I think there's still a permanent indention in my finger because I hand wrote all the Christmas cards that we sent out.
How many did y'all send out?
I counted the cards that we had left, and we had 60, I don't know, so close to 40.
Yeah. Matt has some of the prettiest handwriting from a male I've ever seen.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah, who would have thought?
Who'd have thunk
You
it?
wouldn't have thought that after all the crayons that he's eaten
Yeah.
over.
I'm a master of the art of writing.
Of writing. Very good. You are a good writer. I mean, he does write some novels on his Facebook posts.
Yeah. They're pretty good.
They're pretty good.
All right, we got another comment here. Christopher Broughton. He said, "Okay, I'm here now. I got a lot of problems with you people," which is a Festivus quote from that episode.
Very good.
In the airing of grievances.
And he probably has some problems with us too, especially you, Chet.
I don't know.
No, there's no hearts over the eyes, Greg. I don't do emojis. I don't do emojis in my written word or my typed word. If there's a spot for an emoji, I actually type the name of the emoji out, like sad face in parentheses or angry face in parentheses. I just refuse to use them.
He's got problems. You just need to use them.
The crying face, which I've never used.
Yeah.
But sad, angry, mad face. Yeah.
I just assume every time you type something, you're angry. Like that's the angry face.
I think most people do, and that gets me in trouble with text messages quite a bit.
Yeah. Do we have a delivery?
Oh yeah, I'll take this.
So, along with the festivities, one of my daughters was upstairs making cookies. Why is there only one glass of milk? Is that for me?
I asked for the milk.
What?
Yeah, you gotta ask for your milk. I think your dad wants some milk too.
No. You know what I want. Yeah.
I want to talk to Samson.
Ooh, eggnog.
You need anything?
You want some eggnog, Matt?
No, I'm good. I've got my sweet tea.
All right, these are fresh cookies right out the oven.
My sweet tea right here on the floor.
This is awesome since we've never had fresh baked cookies delivered to us before.
That would be a first.
Yep.
I saw the mixing going on.
Good.
I'm not going to chew into the mic.
Yeah.
Yeah, you sit back, fool. get way back.
No miso phony.
So did you know that this joker here now eats ice, crunches ice because he knows I don't like it. So every day at lunch, he hates it, but he powers through it just to aggravate me.
Like it hurts my teeth, but I still
But you
do
do it anyway. It's worth cracking a crown.
Right. Yeah, I don't even have one of those, but yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's worth maybe getting a crown.
Cracking a tooth.
Yeah.
Is that what you get a crown for?
Oh, I'm making a mess down here. We need to get the dog down here to clean this mess up. All right.
Goodness. All right. So you done with all your Christmas shopping, Troy?
I'm done. I was done in November.
Yeah. So we were talking earlier, and Troy had a really a neat idea of just bring it over to Matt of the kids keep it because I had a rule in my house that if I found out what one of the wrapped presents was before Christmas, then that present would get taken away. So if my mom noticed that I was trying to sneak a peek of what's there, then that gift is gone. So your kids are only interested with the presents that their name is on. They don't care about anybody else's. So you quit putting names on presents.
That's right. So my wife took these little tags that say like ho, 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 and Merry Christmas and sleigh bells or whatever. There were 5 of them. We have 5 kids. So she labeled the presents with those tags, and she knows which tag relates to which kid. And so this year that has stopped all of the peeking, all of the like scratching at the presents and all that. It has stopped all of that. Except yesterday when my uncle came to town, dropped off all his presents, they're all labeled. So the kids can't keep their hands off of those. So it's a constant battle, but only for a couple of days.
And it actually proves the the name tag thing correct. Like they didn't all of a sudden just change their behavior and they're not curious anymore. They just only look at what their name's on.
Exactly. They want to know what they got. So yeah, that's a good cookie.
I know. You're missing out.
No. I'll be glad I didn't tomorrow.
Oh, there you go.
You're not working tomorrow, are you?
No, but I don't want to spend all day on the can.
You could
I
try
got
out
roasting.
that- you could
I
try
got
out that
roasting
bidet.
pans to find.
We may have one. You may be able to borrow one from La Casa Sears.
Does it have a rack?
Oh, what roasting pan doesn't?
Well, I've seen some that don't.
Well,
I don't know. And I may need to keep it a little longer. Just saying.
oh, well,
So,
maybe,
Chet-
maybe I won't let you borrow one.
Amy wants to know what you got Tasso for Christmas.
We haven't bought Tasso a Christmas present yet.
Don't say that too loud. He might hear you.
That's one of the words that we can say around him. There are some words we have to spell. Like we're not allowed, we can't say walk because if he hears us say walk, he goes nuts thinking he's about to go on one.
Walk.
So we spell walk, we spell treat. I can't remember. There's a few that we have to spell.
It's
around.
like having a toddler back
It
in the
is
house.
because he picks up on it pretty quick, but not Christmas present. This is his second Christmas, so maybe I'll give him one. I've got a couple
I'm not buying my dog one.
sheds that I have found that I didn't hunt, and he's worn his deer antler that I gave him last year down pretty good. But it wasn't a Christmas present last year. I just killed a deer and gave him the
Have
antler.
a shed. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I can't do that because I have too many mounts
But
around
you-
the house, and I don't want them getting the idea that those are to be chewed on.
Oh,
You said you bought your dogs some Christmas presents.
yeah. What'd you
Well,
get your dogs?
I'm still working on it. I typically just buy them. I go and get them a fresh beef bone, one that hasn't been dried and all that kind of stuff because it cracks real easy. But when they're fresh, they're still soft, and the dog can actually kind of get the marrow out of the middle of it and eat all the meat off the end of it. They're typically gone in about 2 days, and then they start out this big, and then they crunch them down to about something that's about 4 inches long. So, but that's typically what we do.
What'd you get me for Christmas?
Vacation.
What does that mean?
You didn't have to come to the office and deal with me. Merry Christmas.
I had vacation.
And it's basically 2 weeks of it because I'm not there next week. We've had a 2-week break from each other to end the year, with the exception of today.
And today's still too much.
It is. It's
Broughton wants to know if I found that antler in antler shed hunting season, which he's just trying to get me riled up about a previous episode where we talked about that.
it shed hunting. They make stickers about it, and I got one. Josh gave me a sticker that says shed hunter on it with antlers.
Well, it's Sitka hunter, Sitka wearing camo hunter people to go shed hunting. People that wear like Walmart camo don't go shed hunting.
Sure,
like me.
Sure they do. Yeah, and you don't wear Walmart camo.
No,
I've seen what you wear.
we had a Sitka outfit in the deer camp this year, and Tim and I had a lot of fun with that.
I got outfitted by Cabela's a few years ago. Still wearing that stuff.
That's what I have for deer hunting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Their stuff is pretty good.
Yeah.
Lasts a while.
My problem with Cabela's is that anytime that I've had something of theirs that's Cabela's branded that I like a lot,
They rotate it out.
they quit selling it. And I had still to this day, my favorite pair of boots I've ever owned. They were hunting / hiking boots or whatever. They were actually pheasant hunting boots, but I wore them for everything. I finally just wore out the soles, just no tread, no anything. And so I, couldn't find them. I search. And then I emailed customer service. Oh, we quit making that a year ago. Like, don't.
Well, it's the same thing with that trail camera I had that lasted
Yeah. The trail camera.
6 years. It lasted 6 years. And finally, like the motion sensor thing, just the sun got to it and it cracked. And then it was just sensing literally everything that was coming by. So it still works, but now there's no filter that keeps it from just even the smallest little fly going by or a little grass movement, and it's taking pictures. So it'll go and the batteries just run out.
Oh yeah, I had the weeds grow up on one of mine one year, and it was just every day.
Triggered every day. But this one, they stopped making it. They no longer make it. and it's the best one I've ever had. And the one I got to replace it, it is still going, but it's only a year old at this point.
Those cornflakes?
Yeah, there's cornflakes in the
those
cookies.
Like whole cornflakes. Okay.
It's delicious.
You're good.
Well, I think we ought to start talking about some music, huh?
Yeah, we're going to top three. Our top three for this is top 3 Christmas songs. Carols. I don't know.
Carols,
What's the difference
songs,
between a
whatever.
song and a carol?
I'm guessing a carol you go and sing to people at their door.
That would be caroling. So,
I don't know.
I don't know. What do you guys think?
I don't know. I think Matt ought to go first, though.
Oh, I was not prepared.
Got him.
All right, I'll go.
No, I'm ready.
Okay.
I've literally been listening to Christmas songs all week, so I think I'm very well prepared to.
When do you start listening to Christmas songs? The week of Christmas?
Yeah, I think it was last week.
How about you?
Me personally or my family?
Both.
I'm forced to listen to them in November.
Like first part of November?
This year it was before Thanksgiving, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Usually it's after Thanksgiving.
If it was up to you, when?
It was up for today, maybe. If
No,
it
you
was
don't
up
like
to
Christmas
me.
music?
Not a huge fan, but
What do you have against
it's
the
growing
birth
on
of
me.
our Savior Jesus Christ?
well, most of them weren't about him.
Well, you have. I'm not talking about radio. You can pick your own.
Oh, I'm just not a huge fan.
Okay.
Are you a Verizon customer? Oh no, you're Patriot Mobile now, right?
Yeah, Patriot Mobile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just found out Verizon. I get
iTunes for free.
For a year.
well, yeah, but there's more.
Oh, what?
Like,
But
Disney-
wait.
there's
But wait.
more.
There's more.
Disney Plus, ESPN Plus, and there's one other
That's
Hulu.
that was an introductory deal.
No, on the new deal, it's like they're there.
Are you sure?
Yes, because I just went through and updated all my stuff, and then noticed that iTunes was free.
I'm gonna have to fact
So
check.
I
Does anybody
stopped.
out there know if Matt is true in saying?
I just changed my plan
Okay.
because that was the only reason. I was like, well, why? Why am I gonna switch? It's the same amount of money, but why do I want this new package? And they upped my whatever nationwide, whatever it is. But so anyway, what are we doing? Top 3 Christmas songs?
Yeah.
Yeah, my wife just joined. Yes, I'm eating cookies and milk. Thank you.
Let's see. Number 3. Silent Night, probably.
That's a good one.
Okay.
Got to have that one during Christmas. Just
I think it's a
one-
must.
It's one that's a must-have.
Yeah.
So I do like Silent Night. Number 2, I'm going to go. I know you're turning your head away to not chew into the microphone, but the fact that you're turning away and I know you're chewing is still irritating me. I don't know why. I don't know why. It just is.
The fact that we are in the same room is just irritating me.
The chewing. Misophonia.
I know that what's going on outside these
visual.
headphones is crazy. Number 2, this is a hard between my number 2 and my number 1. But I think number 2,
Number 2 is typically harder.
Oh gosh. There it was.
it was today.
Potty humor.
While you guys were doing your sound checks. No,
Oh man.
shoot. Number 2 would be Hallelujah. And they do the Christmas version to the Leonard Cohen song. But they
Oh, I've
change,
heard-
but
yeah, I've
they
heard that.
change the words to Jesus' birth.
I know what
And
you're
it's-
talking about. Yeah.
There's a group on YouTube that does it. They show up at this little, I don't know, eatery, little pub or whatever, and start with the piano. It's a Cloverton, I think, is their band name, but they do a pretty
Yeah.
good job of it. And then number 1 would be "Oh Holy Night," and then that would be, and I'm trying to think of the guy's name, Dave something.
Josh Groban.
No, yeah, David Phelps.
Oh, from Gaither. The
Yeah.
Gaithers.
Yeah. And he crushes that song. So that'd be my number one, because that's the one I've been kind of rotating through this year
Yeah.
more than the rest. And last year it was Cloverton. Whatever song that was, I just said it was. Short-term memory.
Yeah, Cloverton, that's a good band. Good group.
So Greg is reminiscing on some candlelight vigils at church, and he said that they sing 500 verses of Silent Night while the candles drip wax all over the pews during the Christmas Eve services. Yes,
So true.
yes, a true Christmas Eve service with the wax dripping, and
I was not
a worship leader that's into it and just like, hey, let's do that again, and you're like, man, I'm running out of candlestick because these are the same ones that we've used for the last 5 years.
I did not know that Angels We Have Heard on High was as long of a song as it was.
It can be.
And that there were more verses to it.
Just keep going.
They
All
just
those
kept
old
going.
hymns, I feel like they have, 12 verses if you need it.
They could.
All right, my next.
Fire away. Thanks for that memory there, Greg. That's a good one.
All right, number 3 is There Ain't No Hole in the Wash Tub. Huh? That's one of my favorite Christmas songs
I'm going to need more.
because nobody in my family likes to watch that movie but me.
Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas. Is that the name of the movie?
And every year I make them watch it.
Yeah.
And tonight's the night. We're going to watch it.
I've never seen it.
It's a fantastic movie. Jim Henson, Muppets. Yeah. Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas.
The name of the song is Ain't No Hole in the Wash
There
Tub.
Ain't No Hole in the Wash Tub, 1977.
What does it have to do with Christmas?
It's a Christmas movie.
But what does the song have to do with Christmas?
It's the first song on the Christmas movie.
I don't know if that qualifies as a
It
Christmas
qualifies.
song. Does it really? Does it talk about Christmas?
No. But it's in a Christmas movie.
That doesn't make it.
This sounds like the Die Hard argument.
This is a Christmas song to me.
Just because it was a Christmas party,
The only time I ever
that
listened
makes it
to
a Christmas movie.
This just
during-
in from one of our listeners named Hannah. We're not watching that tonight.
Maybe you are, she says.
Me and the kids. Yes. See, I told you nobody's a fan but me.
Yeah.
All right, number 2. You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch.
Okay, the James Earl Jones one.
Well, it's not James Earl Jones.
It's not. Oh,
It is. The
I think I knew
lyrics were written by Theodore Dr. Seuss Geisel. The music was composed by Albert Haig, and the song was performed by Thurl Ravenscroft.
yeah. I remember somebody telling a story about him, and I knew the dude had like this sweet name.
Yeah, Thurl Ravenscroft.
Thurl.
Hey, if you're pregnant out there, think about this one.
Thurl.
Thurl Ravenscroft.
Ravenscroft. That'd be a good middle name.
Yes.
If we get another dog, Ravenscroft.
Ravenscroft.
Those two songs
RC for short.
are for movies.
Yeah.
I mean, Christmas movies just remind me of, Christmas. Gets
I
me
had-
in the spirit.
I knew we were never getting a dog because my wife was anti having a dog, but it worked out with COVID. But I had always told her if we get dogs, the first one's being named Rehnquist and the second one's being named Scalia, my two favorite Supreme Court justices.
So,
She's like, no.
yeah, that didn't happen.
But when we got a dog, I was like, I don't care. We'll name it whatever if we're getting one. So anyway, so Ravenscroft is now number 3 on the list.
That's a good one. All right, number 1, Silent Night.
Made the list.
Yeah.
Got to have it.
Number 1 for me, especially if it's sung by like a choir. It just
Yeah.
makes it that more. Just
It's not on mine. I'll just have to tell you now.
that's okay.
Yep.
You're fired.
All right. You done? You done?
That was 3.
Anybody out there? So we've got some arguments. Troy, that's a stretch with the Emmett Otter. Your wife is not watching that movie tonight.
Yep.
So you're getting voted down quite a bit.
That's okay. That's all right. You're allowed to have your opinion.
Yeah, that's good. All right. Number 3 for me.
It's his house. It's a gimme.
Right.
Number 3 for me. I'll Be Home for Christmas, sung by Bing Crosby. Speaking of great names.
Bing.
Bing Crosby.
Chandler Bing.
Bing cherry
Bingham.
salad. But anyway, that's a good one.
Bing
I have
search
an
engine.
honorable mention, and I didn't know if you guys were going to go here or not. But
I have an
I'm
honorable
gonna eat-
mention as well.
I'm going to eat this cookie.
the
I'm going to eat this
the
cookie.
Hallelujah chorus from Handel's Messiah, which has kind of been adopted into Christmas. But I did a little research here, and Handel wrote all of this about Easter, not Christmas. So it's not necessarily Christmas music, according to the composer, the author. But he's a little bit more Easter related, but a lot of just about every choir or whatever with their Christmas specials typically will throw in at least a Hallelujah chorus. So that gets an honorable mention. I wouldn't put it in my top 3 because it's not really a Christmas song according to the guy who wrote all that stuff. What was your honorable mention?
I forgot.
That's great. Number 2.
Hey, somebody very important to you said that Emmett Otter rocks. I think she's right. Yes.
Maybe you could watch it over here tonight then.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, I'll be fine. Number 2, "O Come All Ye Faithful" by Nat King Cole. I don't know if you can't tell the traditional Christmas people.
Picking up a vibe.
Yes,
Picking it up.
Yes, I'm gonna change that a little bit. My number 1 is the same as Matt's number 1, "O Holy Night," but I'm going with the Martina McBride version.
Okay.
Oh.
I like them all, actually, but I just think that David Phelps, like his voice is
Yeah, I'm with you.
incredible.
I'm with you. But Martina, small package, big voice, but she does really good with that song.
And she's a Kansas girl.
Okay. I didn't know that. And then that kind of goes back. Broughton had some question about country music and Christmas music. I don't know what he was saying. Can you recycle a Christmas song that you used as a top 3 country song? Bella would.
You can, absolutely. And it was close. And that's actually what I was thinking for my honorable mention, but we'd already talked about it previously, but it's a good song.
All right. So those are our top 3s. Anybody out there have another one that we missed? Feel free to comment. It sounds like Emmett Otter Jug Band Christmas music may or may not get a vote.
All right, if I get my song bumped off, I would say number 3 is "Christmas in Hollis."
Is that a...
Run DMC.
I don't know if I know that one.
Never.
Do you know that one?
No.
The limo driver plays it at the very end of Die Hard when they're driving off. Dun, 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 dun.
I think I know what you're talking
Christmas
about
in
now.
Hollis.
We'll have to listen to that when we're...
That would be my number 3.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that.
And Broughton's talking trash now. I'm not even commenting on that.
It was a very good question, as long as he agrees with me on some other certain subjects, which we won't approach right now.
I don't even know what you're trying to say.
He knows what I'm trying to say. He'll get it. We had an off the board discussion.
Broughton is coming in with all the rap songs that we missed.
Oh, "Christmas in Hollis." I just named that one.
Ludachristmas. Froggy Fresh Christmas List song. Is that the guy that Why Is James Crying? Froggy Fresh?
I don't know.
You know that song? Why
No.
Is James Crying? Because he just got dunked on. You ever seen that? Man, you guys you're way out.
Lame.
You're old. That's a good one. You know what I'm talking about, don't you? Why is James crying? Because he just got dunked on? I don't know. I'm not raising my daughter right.
Crickets.
Broughton, he's agreeing. That's what he's talking about. That's the guy.
That's the guy, he said.
So Broughton, are those your top 3? Your top 3 are all rap songs? Rap Christmas songs that
He kind of
I've never
strikes
heard
me
of?
as a hip hop Christmas kind of guy.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't.
He sure does.
No, he doesn't.
All right.
Well, good deal. Want to move on to our good word?
We can do that.
Should we take 1 minute out to talk about our sponsor?
Ow.
Just so, you know.
It'd have been nice if our sponsor would have got us some Christmas beard oil.
He sponsored us all year. I mean,
I do notice that the beard is mighty shiny as we do this podcast.
You like
I
that?
know that you have some product in there.
I haven't even shaved.
Don't call it product. Don't call it product.
Chet's got product in his beard.
It's oil.
I got it.
And I
Oil
keep it right next to my 10W30 out there in the
Highly
garage.
viscous.
From admiralspennant.com is where you can get it.
Admiral's Pennant Beard Oil from
I'm gonna steal this.
admiralspennant.com.
Without it, you might as well shave.
So Broughton's number one is Robert Earl Keane, Merry Christmas from the Family.
Gross.
So our listeners need to dial that one up and listen to that one on your drive this morning. And Greg says that all of us should go out there and buy some more merchandise at hardheadedpodcast.com.
Yeah.
It's a little late for a Christmas present, but you can get somebody a New Year's present.
You can start the New Year's off right.
Yeah. These shirts are always on sale for some reason.
They never come off sale.
They never come off sale.
Why they do that to us?
If you get on there and they're not on sale, just wait an hour or so and they'll be on sale.
Absolutely. So for our good word today, we're just actually going to read out of Luke, the Christmas story, and we're going to take turns reading. And we're really excited. Matt just learned how to read not too long ago. So.
And apparently, I'm going to read Luke 2 verses 1 through 7.
Yes, I marked it out.
According to these little marks that he has made to make sure that I follow.
So before we read about the birth of Jesus Christ, and can you finish up making fun of your friend and co-host?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
We have turned over a new leaf in the last 5 seconds.
Calm it down here. Let's go, Matt.
Are we good?
I'm good.
Okay. So Luke 2, verses 1 through 7. Now in those days, a decree went out from Caesar Augustus that a census be taken of all the inhabited earth. This was the first census taken while Quintinius was governor of Syria, and everyone was on his way to register for the census, each to his own city. Joseph also went up from Galilee, from the city of Nazareth to Judea, to the city of David, which is called Bethlehem, because he was of the house and family of David, in order to register along with Mary, who was engaged to him and was with child. While they were there, and the days were completed for her to give birth, and she gave birth to her firstborn son, and she wrapped him in clothes and laid him in a manger, because there was no room for them in the inn.
In the same region, there were some shepherds staying out in the fields and keeping watch over their flock by night. And an angel of the Lord suddenly stood before them, and the glory of the Lord shone around them, and they were terribly frightened. But the angel said to them, "Do not be afraid, for behold, I bring you good news of great joy, which will be for all people. For today, in the city of David, there has been born for you a Savior, who is Christ the Lord. This will be a sign for you. You will find a baby wrapped in cloths and lying in a manger." And suddenly there appeared with the angel, a multitude of heavenly hosts, praising God and saying, "Glory to God in the highest, and on earth peace among men with whom he is pleased."
When the angels had gone away from them into heaven, the shepherds began saying to one another, "Let us go straight to Bethlehem then, and see this thing that has happened, which the Lord has made known to us." So they came in a hurry and found their way to Mary and Joseph and the baby as he lay in the manger. When they had seen this, they made known the statement which they had been told about this child, and all who heard it wondered all the things which were told to them by the shepherds. But Mary treasured all these things, pondering them in her heart. The shepherds went back, glorifying and praising God for all that they had heard and seen, just as it had been told to them. I know that we've probably heard this. I mean, if you grew up in church like I did, I mean, at least twice a year around Christmas time. Yeah. So it's just a familiar passage to me. It may be familiar to you as well. But I know as we were going through these same verses this past Sunday in my church, it still just hit me. I think the one thing that stood out this time was in verse 16, they came in a hurry and found their way to Mary. So all this had happened, and naturally every time an angel shows up, everybody's scared. Do not fear. But then they had decided, let's go straight to Bethlehem. Like right after that, the angels left, and they said, let's go do it now. And then when they went in a hurry. And I know a lot of times, like that's a major deal. They left their job. They left their sheep. A major, God spoke to them, and they left and they went in a hurry. And a lot of times we typically want to drag that kind of stuff out. So for me this year, that, part of the passage really just jumped out to me. So, what are things in my life that I wait on? What are things that I know that, this is what I should be doing, but I'm going to wait for a better time to do it, or I'm going to do, in this case, God spoke to him, or the angel of God spoke to him, and they went in a hurry. And then they saw what they'd been told, and then after they saw it, they started telling everybody what they'd been told. And I just think that's what stood out to me this go round. How about you guys? Or any of our listeners that are out there?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what stood out to me is just the urgency that they had to go see what they had heard and what they had been told.
Yeah.
Yeah. How many times do you feel like you hear something from the Lord, or you see, somebody tells you something that you feel like it's from the Lord, and you kind of sit on it and wait, try to figure it out. Like, is that from the Lord? Or, I don't know. I've done that in my
I need
life.
another angel to show up and confirm what the first angel showed up and said.
Yeah, kind of like Gideon. When that Gideon that was like, do the do on the mat.
And now that you did that,
do the do on everything else but the mat.
Yeah.
Like,
are you sure?
Yeah.
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 And they didn't do that. That's pretty awesome. And
they rushed out.
If you go back to the shepherds weren't at all like the high society. So for the angel to show up to them and tell them first, and for them to go in and confirm it, and then talk about everything that they had said, was pretty special.
Well, and the shepherds were probably the youngest of the family, because they always just passed that job down, and a lot of times they were female.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know the female part.
Yeah, I heard that through a Jewish teaching. So Dr. Ray Vanderlaan teaches a lot on that. So yeah, very interesting.
Cool.
And when you pointed that out, I went back and I immediately thought to the first Christmas episode that The Chosen did, when the angel appears to the shepherds in the field, and then that guy that's got the busted up leg, even he's running.
Yeah.
And then eventually throughout the whole deal, it just gets, after he touches the baby Jesus, he gets healed. It's kind of, but
that's cool.
Well, cool. Any other questions out there, listeners? We're going to wrap this thing up here pretty soon. It does not have to be about our good word. It could be something about how pretty Matt looks today.
I'm sporting a vest.
He's wearing a vest and short sleeves. He's in a more comfortable chair than Troy and myself. I don't know if anybody's noticed that.
Yes.
Everywhere he goes, he gets taken care of.
He actually carried it over here. I was hoping you were going to hold it for me, hold me up, throughout the whole podcast.
Maybe next year.
We'll work on that.
Then you get a trophy for that.
We'll figure that out.
Yeah,
but it also makes me really short on this side, and I could have been sitting up there with you guys, but
nope.
It doesn't look too bad on camera. You're good.
I like it. Okay.
It does look bad on camera.
No,
it's him.
No,
it's him.
I just, here I am. He's trashing me now, but I purposely did not sit in his wooden chair so I wouldn't scar it up with my carbon fiber.
You were being
on my,
very thoughtful.
I was being thoughtful.
Yeah,
he was being very thoughtful, and that's why I also got a chair. And
there's a question right there.
Has Matt picked his socks for 2022?
Oh, that's
so. Let me give a little background on this, unless you want to.
No, go ahead.
So Matt doesn't have stinky feet. He has artificial feet that do not sweat.
Wait, we have a judge.
You want to smell to make sure they're not
You want
stinky?
to smell my socks? All right.
So anyway, so that means he only has to change his socks. You don't necessarily have to change them ever, but you have a tradition of changing them every year.
Yeah, once a year.
And so it's a big deal when he picks his socks. So he had a post out there about a week ago wanting some inputs. Last year, the selection was Cobra Kai.
Yes, my socks say no mercy, and then they've got the Cobra from the Cobra Kai on them.
Yeah. So have you selected this year's sock yet?
I have not. The jury is still out.
Can you narrow it down?
I've got it narrowed down to a few, but I'm not 100% sure which way I'm going this year yet. I can tell you this: it's probably not going to be "Let's Go Brandon."
Yeah.
It's probably not going to be anything that has a political statement to go along with it.
Right.
And they've got to be ankle socks. And so there's been a lot of suggestions for the crew, the crew style socks. I can't wear those because they don't stay up because there's nothing for them to hold on to. So ankle socks are it. So I've just got to find the good pair of those.
I think you ought to just wear pantyhose.
No, they rip too easy.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
And don't judge me, but I have been known to wear pantyhose on my left leg.
Oh, okay.
You know, when I swell up and I eat too much and I get too fat and I can't get in my...
Trims them down a little bit.
Trims my leg down a little bit. Helps them slide into that socket a little better.
There you go.
Yeah.
From all the burgers I eat every day.
Chicken sandwiches. So Broughton said, when are the feats of strength? And since we're recording at Chet's house, somebody has to pin me. And I like my odds on this.
That's
if you get him to the ground, I can hold him there. He ain't getting up. I'm pretty vicious on the ground.
I could probably trip him.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Timber.
She's going to get on all fours and just act like the bench behind him, and then we push him
the old
backward.
High school move. I remember that happened all the time. All right. Well, Merry Christmas. We've got our episode next week. Be coming out normal.
Yeah, this normal time.
Our first time doing a live deal. Yep. We really appreciate those that have logged in and interacted with us. It's been fantastic. We got a lot more coming next year. In fact, we're meeting about next year.
Right after this episode.
We've actually have a business meeting.
Yeah.
Annual review. I've got data, statistics.
I've got
charts, graphs.
I normally don't prepare, for anything ever. But I feel
filter just popped me in the mouth.
But I feel
see that?
Somebody stole my notes.
You dropped them earlier when you were demonstrating something. But Matt actually prepared for this meeting, which
there they are.
Means there's probably going to be a lot of arguing.
Look at that. Look at the highlights. I've got highlighted areas of things that are my comments that I want to say.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Most of them have to do with you, Troy.
I'm ready.
Change your face.
I'm ready.
Or I will change it for
That's
you.
That's why we put the pop filter in front of him so you wouldn't have to see his whole face.
It's better, but it's still there.
I'm like the neighbor on Tool Time. Howdy-ho,
neighbor.
All right, why don't you take us on out of here, Matt?
You got it.
Never does that.
I'm not taking us out.
Oh, just with the music?
Yeah.
Well, everyone, thank you for listening and watching today live on the Hardheaded Podcast. You can go to hardheadedpodcast.com to check us out, see what we're all about. Listen to podcasts there. You can also buy some merch if you want some shirts, tapestries, pillows, coffee mugs, all that fun stuff. Also, share this with a friend.
Yeah, and if you want to tell us your favorite Christmas songs, that'd be fantastic. I think somebody sent a link to a video of one. Keep it up.
Yeah, don't forget to rate and review. Give us some stars because that puts us in front of more people.
And we really appreciate you tuning in. Thank you so much for listening.
See you next time.
Merry Christmas.
Ho, ho, ho.